Welcome to Storytime at the Roo Bus, a weekly podcast about the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. I'm your host, Sharla.
And I'm Daniel, and I'm going to sound pretty rough this week, and I'm going to let Sharla do a lot of the talking. I don't have COVID, but I've got some kind of sinus infection, and I have been awful today.
No,
but
you're fine, Daniel.
Am I?
Fine.
I'm going to sound really different. I'm on the verge of just going to sleep because I don't want to live today. It's terrible.
Oh,
I've
my
been
goodness.
miserable.
You're being dramatic.
Yeah, I am being dramatic. But I did take a test. I don't have COVID. I just have an awful sinus infection or cold. I'm going to assume that I picked it up while we were traveling last week. You had it for a little bit. Are you feeling better?
Yes, I feel a lot better. You probably got it in the Admirals Club, going in all those Admirals Clubs.
Oh, gosh, maybe. There was a lot of places where you could pick up your own food, so maybe that's possible.
Yeah.
You can't do that in the post-COVID world, I suppose.
No.
How did you get past it so quick? I need to get past this.
I'm not fully past it. But
Really?
I think I'm over the hump.
Well, we're paying the price for traveling a little bit. I had a wonderful time. Thank you to everyone who checked in on us. Brooklyn was with us. It's just me and Charlotte tonight. I think this is our annual tradition of just doing the Valentine's Week episode, just me and you.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Valentine's was yesterday. We did a few things.
Okay.
Me and you aren't really that big on Valentine's Day, but we
No.
had a nice dinner together.
No.
Shout out to all the single people out there who are toughing it out. Got all the respect in the world. You are loved as well. Don't listen to all this commercialized nonsense.
No.
But you had a good time in Brazil, babe?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we talked about that last week if you didn't listen to that bonus episode. If you didn't, we talked a little bit about how inexpensive it really is to get out in the world and go travel to other countries. Go listen to that if you didn't. We really encourage you to do that sometime. In
Planes
fact,
leave every day.
every day, man. One of these days, I would really love to get a group trip to Thailand. Can we do that one of these days, please?
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So this is going to be a bit of a smaller episode because our voices are hoarse and we're not feeling 100%. But there were a number of things that we did want to talk about before we really start getting into things in the coming weeks, right?
Yes, of course.
So me and you were on the call last night for the Plaza Pitches.
Yes, on the Discord. Yes.
So can you tell everybody what that was for anybody that hadn't been paying attention?
Oh my goodness. So Bonnaroo is doing this really, really super cool thing this year where they're actually listening to the community and they were taking Plaza Pitches. Essentially, it's what the community would pitch to do in one of the plazas. It's community-driven, fan-based ideas for you to put forth something, an event in a plaza.
Wow. That was a great explanation.
Really?
That was perfect. Yeah. I had been talking with some of the people at Bonnaroo for the past year or two about doing something like this because, we're doing our thing. We're putting on events and people like Camp Red Roo are doing the beer exchange.
Right.
And like the Rooham guys are doing emo night and there's some other ones.
Right. But it's people need support for their events.
Yeah.
And I think a great example was last year when our friend Julia was doing a toy exchange and she just really didn't have the support for it. So it's really, for people to come forth with their events that they've always really kind of wanted to do or that they've been doing, for a lot of years, and just really to kind of get Bonnaroo's support or to kind of make their events more official. So just putting their events, on the map, just making their events official.
Yeah, so it does sound like they're going to try to get in like 2, maybe more of those events. There was 10 pitched on the Discord thing the other night.
Yeah, that was the 10 finalists. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to try to do them all or try to do more than one, but they were all really great.
Well,
all
some
the
of
ones that
them
were offered were really great.
Yeah, some of them sounded as if they would be pretty easy to put
Right,
on. So there were 10. Me and Charlotte took notes while we were on that call, and we kind of wanted to shout out some of our favorites. Not that everybody didn't have great ideas. They were all great, but there were some that we thought, well, wow, this is fantastic, right?
Right, and there were some that, you could literally just set up and that'd be it, and there were some that, obviously took, were event would have to be, monitored, be their events. The first one was from Davis. Davis is someone that we've been talking with and interacting with on Twitter.
Yeah, I love Davis.
Yes, Davis is an amazing person who has created a game show, and it is a queer speed dating game show.
Yeah, he's kind of on the same page with what I've been wanting to do with this speed dating thing. I've been working with him already. I think we're going to have a call in the coming week where we're going to plot out some stuff. I hope that his pitch goes over. There was talk that it would fit really well at House of Yes, which more on that here in a minute. But it was mentioned that House of Yes has a lot of programming going on already. Maybe it's something that could be at the group plaza. I don't know. But the organizers seem pretty impressed. So I think that's something that's going to happen. I just told him, I was like, hey, if this doesn't get picked, can we do this? Can you help me with the speed dating thing that I want to put on?
Right.
So that's going to happen one way or another.
Right. It was amazing the way that Davis presented the idea for it.
Yeah. There was another one from a guy that I think I had spoken with once or twice before. His name is Chad. He presented the idea of rave bingo.
Right.
I love
Chad
this.
Presented his idea for rave bingo. Oh my goodness, I'm so down for some rave bingo.
Yeah, so basically there would be a DJ who would be spinning tunes, but also be the person that rolls the little thing and pulls out like B52, you know? And there would be like some like crazy EDM in between like the letters and numbers, right?
Right.
And there was a lot of people that were saying like, oh, please get DJ Diesel, Shaq to do this.
Oh my goodness.
That seems like the kind of goofy, weird thing that he would love. That would make total sense.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, so I love that one. And that one seemed like one of the deals that would be easy to do, right?
Right. That would be so easy.
Like, if you get the speakers and get the bingo cards and the little, like, spinny thing full of the ping pong balls, that's all you need, right?
Right. And it would, as fun as it would be to get DJ Diesel, I mean, you could just get some random DJ up there. I mean, really,
No, it needs to be Shaq.
Yeah.
It needs to be Shaq. All right.
Oh my goodness.
There was another one from our good friend Skylar, who I think is going to be in our group this year. So can you explain what she pitched? I love it.
Okay. She wants to do a, we really need to get her on here.
Yeah, let's get her on in the next couple of weeks.
But it was a kind of like a parade band, I guess.
Yeah, it was something that really was a throwback to the first couple of Roos, or even something like Mardi Gras.
That's what it reminded me of. When they used to have the parades at Bonnaroo and just kind of getting musicians going around and people would join in the band as the parade goes around.
Amateur musicians.
Yes, amateur musicians.
Anybody who like picked up a guitar or horn or wanted to play, right?
Yes, anybody who picks up an instrument and just kind of can join in that band as it goes around.
I like this idea. I mentioned in the Discord chat that me and you saw something a little similar at Burning Man this past year. There was an orchestra made of all of the attendees.
Yes,
None of them were necessarily professional musicians. No, there were probably a few. But most of the people were just somebody that was just trying to learn. And it sounded wonderful.
Yes, it was amazing.
It was just out there in the middle of the playa. And they had, probably about 100 musicians playing like a lot of orchestra pieces.
Well, Skylar's pitch was have the community make the music.
Yeah.
Which was, the way she presented it was wonderful.
Yeah. It'll be a little loosey-goosey, but that's okay. That's kind of the point. Yeah, we need to just get her on to explain it.
Yes.
Let's do that here in the next couple of weeks. Skylar, if you're listening, I'm going to get in touch with you on the Discord, and we'll get you on probably here in about 3 weeks because I'm about to go to Okie, but more on that soon. There was also another one. I didn't catch the person's name, but somebody proposed doing a drag brunch at Bonnaroo.
Yes, they've actually been doing it for a number of years now, from what I understand. It's the
big gay brunch?
Gay Bonnaroo drag brunch?
Yes.
No, not a drag brunch.
What do they call it?
It's just the big gay Bonnaroo brunch.
Well, that sounds wonderful anyways.
But then somebody was like, let's make it a drag brunch.
Yeah. That's great.
Yes.
You know, it seems like every big town has a big drag brunch nowadays. We have one here in Huntsville over at Straight L where Brooklyn works.
Yeah.
I think that Play in Nashville does one every once in a while. That's my go-to place if I'm going to go to a drag bar in Nashville anyways.
There's a drag brunch next to it or something?
There's also a drag bus, which I don't know why we haven't spoken to them before.
Right?
Yeah. They have queens do the whole deal where they like drive you through Nashville like all these other bachelorette buses. Yeah. Did you know, by the way, this is kind of a rat hole, there is a big blue school bus that is one of those buses in downtown Nashville that looks almost exactly like the Roo Bus?
Yes.
We saw it riding around before we saw Jack White a year or so ago, remember?
Yes.
I don't know if it's still rolling around, but it looks almost just like the Brew Bus. But anyways, those were some of our favorite plaza pitches.
No, there was one more.
Really? You got one more?
There was a young lady presented her idea for a clothing swap.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you think that would work? You used to do like vintage clothing stuff.
Absolutely, yes.
So it would be like the toy exchange or the beer exchange, but like rave clothes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's another one of those ideas where you don't really need a lot of infrastructure to make it work.
Exactly.
I am so happy that these ideas are getting pitched. This is what I've been wanting to have happen for years now. I'm glad that Roo is hearing them out and giving them support.
Yes, but back on the brunch thing.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, they've been doing it for several years, so I think the goal was just more to make it official.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've already got the infrastructure. So that was kind of the deal with the Red Roo Beer Exchange. They had been doing that for years already and had it down to a science. So for Roo to just put it on the schedule and
Right.
get, throw in some support, it was a no-brainer, right?
Exactly.
I can't wait for more of those things to happen. I kind of think that most of them are going to happen at the group plaza where we're going to be at, but some of them made a lot of sense to have at House of Yes. There was also some people that pitched some kind of like meditation or relaxation things. I forget the plaza number, but it would make a lot of sense to have it where Haley Williams had her thing or where the therapy gecko was last year, that particular pod or plaza has been home to that kind of thing in the past, so that would make a lot of sense.
Yes.
But everybody who pitched, thank you so much. That was amazing. I loved hearing those.
They were all great ideas.
Me and Sharla are in your corner, and they're going to be hyping you up. And for whatever reason, if Roo doesn't pick it, talk to us. I would like to do what we can to help you make something happen if you still really want to. Now, I'm going to silence my notifications because I'm sure you just heard that. There was also some news.
Every week.
That I know it happens every time. There was some news that came from the pitch call, right? Do you want to tell everybody what the big one was?
Well, I think you mentioned it a couple of times just now. House of Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be back.
Yes.
House of Yes.
Every year, I feel like we have a little stress when we wonder if they are going to be back or not.
Yes, and I don't know if they did. You think Bonnaroo meant to release that news, or you think that was an accident?
I don't think it was an accident. That kind of thing, like, a lot of other festivals or the Bonnaroo in the past would make like a big official splash, but I love how like more loose the Bonnaroo PR team is lately with all of their memes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it so
and
much.
like just casually announcing stuff like that, not making a big formal to do out of it. This is actually more Roo. Like for a span of time, we went through an era of Bonnaroo where everything was more formalized. You would have like teases of announcements, but now it's just like, hey, by the way, y'all want to do this?
Well,
and they'll make a meme out of it,
there was about 70-ish people, I guess, on that call.
Yeah.
And it felt like you were on a personal call with Bonnaroo.
Yeah, there were like Corey,
yeah.
who has been one of the main PR guys. He's a wonderful dude. We've talked with him a couple of times. He has been on with the What podcast a time or two. He's an awesome dude. I think he's behind some of the memes, but also the support people that are handling the Discord and some of the community stuff. I love how they're putting themselves out there.
Right. They
this
even
year.
had the lady that books the bands for Bonnaroo was on that call.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I love how they're doing this. I love how they're putting themselves out there. They're not...
Exactly.
I don't want to criticize people who used to work for AC or Live Nation, but back in the day, it kind of felt like they were in their ivory tower, and it was like a we speak, you listen kind of situation. But these days, them putting themselves and their identities out there and having conversations with the community is what's needed and what we've been wanting for years.
Right.
And I've got to give them huge props for doing that lately.
So I actually... I applied for a job the other day, and
You did?
one of the questions said, it said, what media brand do you look up to, and do you think it's doing a good job, or something like that?
Yeah.
And I literally wrote Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
Music and arts.
Really? Now, okay. Let's be realistic. I don't want to blow smoke up their tooties too much. I just made that up. You like that phrase? Anyways, for a while there, they were not doing a good job. Like, during the whole debacle of the storm of 2021, the communication was hardly forthcoming.
It's because nobody worked there.
Well, yeah, that's true. They were very short-staffed. But that was a mess. And they have publicly said they're trying to learn and move on. I think they have. I think this is the best PR and communications that Roo has had in many, many years. Do you think so?
Oh, I would definitely agree.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things maybe they can work on, but we're still a long ways out. Some of those things are probably still coming. But yeah, can we give them props for the memes? The memes are on point.
Oh, for sure.
But anyways, back to our original point. House of Yes is going to be back. It does sound like they're going to have a lot of programming happening. I don't know if you guys have been listening to the news out of Tennessee government, but pardon me, I don't like to get too obscene, but there's some bullshit happening in Tennessee government right now with this bill that's passing through. Have you heard much about this?
I've discussed it in our Discord.
Yeah,
we have.
I don't like talking politics on anything Bonnaroo, but this is one place where I'm going to make an exception. You probably have seen this. We had a tweet thread about this a week or two ago. There's a bill moving through Tennessee legislature that is targeting our LGBT friends And I'm sorry, I'm going to put my foot down about this. And I think our Roo Bus crew in general will, I mean, you're on this train, right? Mm-hmm. Like, this is some bullshit. That what they're trying to push through in Tennessee would basically outlaw anybody identifying as themselves.
Right.
It does not pose a problem to Bonnaroo this year. I forget who did the homework, but props to them. On our Discord, somebody found that it would not go into effect until July of this year. Right. So in June, we're safe. But this is going to be a fight for later on. And yeah, we're ready to fight. Roo is a place where people should be able to express who they are. And I think we got to make it a big party this year, because right after that, we got to hunker down and fight this thing that Tennessee is trying to push through, because I do not want it to affect Bonnaroo in 2024.
So I will say that the Roo Bus itself will always be a safe space for anyone. Before it's not a safe space, I would set it on fire and roll it down a hill.
Exactly. We said this in our little Twitter, thread, whatever. We will always be a place where if you need somebody to talk to or need a place just to be, where you're going to be safe, we will drop everything that we're doing. I don't care if we're in the middle of hosting a big show on Wednesday. We will drop everything to be there for you and help you. That goes for anybody. Just please, grab one of us, me, Sharla, Brooklyn, anybody else that's hanging with us. There's going to be a lot of people in our group this year. If you need somebody to talk to, you need somebody to just, hang out with, you need a safe space, we will drop everything to be there for you. And for those of you that live in Tennessee, I know it's hard with this thing that the Tennessee state government is pushing through right now. We got your back, and a lot of people at Bonnaroo do too as well. This ain't going to go without a fight.
Right.
Yeah. So enough on that for now. I just thought that was worth mentioning while we were talking about House of Yes. There was another kind of quick announcement from the pitches as well. Sounds like Yomi the Harpist is going to be back.
Yes, Yomi the Harpist is going to be back.
I did not see them, but I heard nothing but good things about them.
Yes, apparently they are amazing.
Is that something that was at that relaxation plaza?
I think so. I'm not sure.
That place was all the way on the other side of the camps from us, so I never really made it there.
Was it not that one that we went in with the clouds?
Clouds. Yeah, I think that was the same one. We did go in there one day.
We did go in there, yes.
We went in there when nothing was happening, like Therapy Gecko or nothing was there. I think we were coming back from something one day, and we just need to rest for a little bit. That's the place to do it, I suppose. What were we doing? I don't remember. What were we doing out there? Were we coming back from where in the woods?
I don't have any idea.
I have all these random memories of things that happened at Bonnaroo, but I'm like, wait, how did I get there? What was I doing there?
I feel like I was in there with JoJo.
Was we? Okay. Other than that, I'm going to plead the fifth on that whole situation, because I just remember that random
that the
thing.
Night that JoJo was like, I'm eating spicy pie, and I didn't know where he was.
Yeah, he was literally that Bill Murray meme where it's like, where have you been? Like, everywhere.
I've been in VIP in an air-conditioned tent. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. Anyways, hey, Charlotte, we got some other stuff that we're going to talk about here in a moment. But before we do...
Okay, good, because I got a bunch of weekly picks.
Oh, do you? Okay, well, I'm going to hand that to you because my voice is shot this week. Seeing as my voice is shot, can we talk about our Patreon? Can we start by you?
We have some new ones.
We have a lot of new ones.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you list off the names for us while I give my voice a rest, please?
Well, so 80%, is that right?
Yeah, you tell everybody.
80% goes to the Bonnaroo Works Fund, and you can find us at patreon.com/RooBus.
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. You want to tell everybody the names?
Yes. Okay. And I'm only going to say the first names because I will definitely mess up the last names.
There are a handful of new ones.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. Okay. And the other 20% goes to fund the party and get some cool stuff. All right. Ernst, Jordan, Bill, Harris, Brian, Keith, Casey, Chloe Rose, Andrew, Dave, Amanda, Aaron, Nick, Maddie, Sean, McFerg, Andrew, John, Benjamin, Ross, Kent, Michael, Randy, Joshua, Madison, Scott, Greg, Eric and Ben, Beyond the Hypnotic.
That's Jace.
That's Jace. Evan, Jay, Chloe, and Sean.
It's Sean, yeah. Again, that's at patreon.com/RooBus. Sharla and I don't keep a cent. 80% is going to go to the wonderful Bonnaroo Works Fund. In fact, sometime in the next month or two, I'm going to get Miss Kelsey on, who does a lot with them, so she can tell us
Yes.
about what these projects are. Like Sharla said, the remaining 20% will go to the party. We're just going to blow it on everybody. So there'll be goodies or pizza or beer. I don't know. Our Patreons are going to decide. And by the way, Patreons, I've been meaning to set up a call, but we've just been so damn busy with work and travel and then going to Okie. But we are going to do that here in the next month or so. I want to start getting our brains rolling about what we are going to spend that 20% on.
Last year, didn't we give like one of the biggest contributions to the Works Fund or something?
Yes, Miss Kelsey told me that we had the biggest non-corporate contribution to the Bonnaroo Works Fund last
cool.
year. And that will probably be the case again this year. I want to thank everybody because we are going to have a big chunk of change to donate to them and then quite a bit left over for the party as well. It will be significantly more than last year.
Oh, yeah.
We will provide the receipts when we get closer. I don't want to put the cart before the horse or count the chickens before the hatch, whatever metaphor you want to use. But as of right now, the way things are going, I think we're going to have about $2,000 to throw around.
That's awesome.
So that's everything. So 80% of that will go
yeah.
to the Works Fund, and the remaining bit will, fund the party. But it might even be more. We tend to get a lot of new Patreons as we get closer to Roo, and we're way ahead of the same pace that we were last year. So I am very glad that we can make that contribution to the wonderful charity arm of Bonnaroo, and also glad that we can blow that money on something fun for everybody at the party as well. I have no idea what it's going to be. The Patreons are going to figure that out. So again, thank you so much, everyone. Charlie and I don't keep a cent. We're glad to just coordinate this for the Works Fund and for the party as well. Should we get back to our other stuff?
We should.
I did want to take just a moment as kind of like the main content of this episode to talk a little bit about the bus itself and kind of go through the process that we go through every year to start to get it ready. Now that the weather is starting to not be winter so much, we are now coming to the annual season where we're pretty soon about to start that whole process, right?
Yes.
I thought it might be a fun idea in the interest of transparency to tell everybody kind of what we do with that. Do you want to kind of go along with me on that explanation? Sure. So right now, the bus is a mess because we had a Halloween party and a New Year's party and friends stayed in there and we haven't really cleaned it up since. So
shout out to Lindsay and
yeah,
Zach.
Shout out to Lindsay and Zach. By the way, they did fold up their blankets and put things away. I'm just kind of trolling them a little bit. You know what? It's funny. Lindsay stayed in the Roo Bus last New Year's, not this past one, but the one before that. And it was strangely warm that day. He got up at like 8 a.m. and he's like, "How do y'all do this?" And I'm like, "A lot of time and practice, my man." But anyway, so here's what's going to happen probably once I get back from Okeechobee and the weather is pretty nice. So we will start cleaning up the inside, sweeping it out, getting all the old mess out of there, kind of organizing our stuff. But in terms of actually prepping the bus, here's what we do. So, Charlie, you know this. One of the first steps is digging out our pressure washer out of the garage, right?
Yes.
So there will be a lot of grime and muck all over the bus because for those of you that haven't been to our house, and by the way, they're welcome to stop by anytime,
Of course,
right? We live
anytime.
in, just outside of Madison,
You can stay in the
Huntsville,
bus.
Alabama.
Yes.
You can crash here free of charge if you ever need to, if you're in the area. It sits underneath a lot of big trees. Like our house, where the bus is parked, is kind of at the end of a cul-de-sac with a lot of tall trees around. So when it rains, a lot of the gunk from the trees is getting on the bus. I would love to have like a giant tarp that we could put over it in the wintertime, but those things are pretty darn expensive.
They really are.
I got a quote on one time, and one big enough to cover the bus would have cost $2,000. And I'm like, you know what? I don't mind spending about 3 hours to pressure wash the bus. That's worth more than, $2,000 or $3,000 for a big tarp to go over it. Anyways, we take the pressure washer, and I go over mostly the hood of the bus. You've seen where that's most of the gunk gets on there, right?
Right.
Getting most of that off, and I'll go over the roof and kind of the sides as well. But after we do that, a lot of the blue paint is coming off, right?
Right. And that's one reason that we tell you guys not to sign the hood of the bus because the gunk just builds up over the year on the hood mostly, and we have to pressure wash that gunk off.
The original blue paint that's on a lot of it is starting to peel off because it was done, probably 15 years ago.
Probably like 2011-ish.
Yeah,
2010, 2011.
it's hard to know exactly. But there's a lot of places where the original blue is coming off and you can see the yellow. there's multiple layers in there because at one point it was a prison bus and it was white.
Yes.
So I think it goes from blue to white, then yellow in some places. Have you seen that?
Yes. Yes.
It's weird because some areas have different layers of paint. The hood is the trickiest part because it's mostly exposed, and that's kind of where a lot of people, climb up there, even though you may have seen a picture of the Roo Bus on Bonnaroo social media, and there was a sign that said, "Do not climb." Charlotte put that on there. Can we make them a little bit more friendly next year?
Well, what do you want them to say?
Please do not climb.
Please do
not climb.
Kind regards.
We do that for a reason because, the first year that we had our Wednesday party, I will not name names, but there was a guy that was a little messed up and climbed up on top with us. And because he was messed up, he thought he could jump from the top of the bus to the ground, and he could not because he broke his ankle. He was thankfully cool about it, but after that, we're like, oh, we probably shouldn't let too many people get up here, right? Yeah. He was a chill guy. It would not have been the same story if it was someone who wasn't as chill, I suppose. Yeah. But that's why we kindly ask people, maybe don't climb up there unless we're helping you, unless we've invited you. It's not that we don't want you to go up there and have fun and see across the camps. It's just we really don't want you to get hurt. That's basically it.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to my story. I'm going to pressure wash that, and then I'm going to go over with blue paint. Lowe's or Home Depot is very good to us where we can take a chunk of paint that has peeled off and they can color match it. It's never exactly the same color blue, is it?
No.
It's always a shade or two off.
Yeah, a touch off.
If you look really closely at the bus, you can tell that there is no one Roo Bus blue. It's 2 or 3 different shades. The roof is different. The hood is different. The sides with all of the painting and signatures is a little different. Pieces of the back are a little different. It's all the kind of friendly, almost turquoise blue. How would you call it?
Like a seafoam?
Seafoam, turquoise blue?
No, I don't know.
I don't know how you would describe it. But we get it pretty darn close.
Yeah.
And we've learned tricks to fade it in. So it usually takes about a month just picking at it a half hour a day, cleaning up spaces where it's peeled or places where it's gotten a little gunky or old. And like Sharla mentioned, when you come to sign it this year, or if you come to our house, you can totally sign the hood if you want, but I'm just going to tell you, it won't stay there. If you want to make your signature stay, I totally recommend signing the side, right?
Yes.
Some people have signed the top when they've gotten up there. Another option is you can sign inside.
The inside.
Just talk to one of us and we'll bring you in.
If you really want your signature to stay, sign the inside.
Yeah, there's a lot all over the roof. We have good friends signing around the front dash.
Yes.
But yeah, if you want it to stay, the inside's where you want it to go.
So something else that we always do is we try to do one inside project on the bus each year.
Have you thought about what you want to do this year?
No. But last year, Brooklyn and I, we went through the entire bus and redid the little panels that are beneath the windows.
Like the wood liner.
The trim.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wood trim.
You guys did a fantastic job on that.
I'm going to brag a little bit. We did great.
Yeah, both of you guys.
Yeah.
You're better at some of those things than I am.
Look, I took you to the store and you were afraid to buy the wood and made me too nervous.
No, I was not.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that we got the right thing.
No, you made me so nervous.
Well, I'm a little bit more analytical than Charlie is when it comes to these big projects. She's like, I'm getting this and I'm doing it. I'm like, no, I kind of want to plan this out. But that's okay. Between the two of us, we got it done. Or between the two of you and Brooklyn, you got it done, more like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Brooklyn work way better together than me and you do.
Are you serious?
Clearly.
Okay, well, that's one reason she's around. I love having her around. Any other big projects that you've got in terms of that kind of thing? Have you thought ahead about it?
I'd like to put a couch in there.
A couch?
Maybe get rid of one of those tables, but I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many things you could do with it, but...
Every year we think about making some drastic
then,
change, but then we're like, let's keep it like it is. Okay, so here's one problem we've had, and I think we've told some people about this personally. There's one piece of the inside of the bus that's really important to the whole museum aspect of it. There is a laminated table that has a lot of tickets from the first couple of Bonnaroos. And it's seen better days.
Yeah,
it's not falling apart, but it's really gunky and
it's really rough.
Yeah, but I can't bear to get rid of that
right,
because this has got so much Roo history
of it.
Yeah, So I don't know. The other table, in theory, we could get rid of and put in your couch, but I fear it would be more work than we may anticipate.
But then that table is in better shape than the other table.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Think about that too.
So probably what will happen is we'll just end up leaving it like it is, like we have every year.
And then there's also the option of, do you want to put in like
what?
A countertop and water?
Yeah, see, that's been something that we have thought about for years too. Like, so the Roo Bus is a party bus. It's not really an RV situation because there's no bathroom, there's no running water, there's barely electricity.
Yeah, but it'd be easy to like put in like a camp sink or something like that.
A camp sink, yeah. That would be easier than what I thought you were going to suggest. I didn't want to do like plumbing under there or anything.
Oh, God, no.
Or like a septic tank or
Yeah.
whatever. No, I'm not doing that. But a camp sink, yeah, that would be cool. So like our buddy Lindsay, who we spoke with a couple of weeks ago that has the Bonnaroo site, he set one up over there for everybody to like wash their hands and stuff. It's basically just a kitchen sink with a wood frame, and he's got a little water to run into it. So maybe that wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Maybe.
Like, you know how people build out vans and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of ways to do it.
I would consider it.
Yeah.
But I should get back to my original spiel with what we're doing to prep the Roo Bus.
yeah.
Because I still have some other things to do.
We went off.
That's totally okay. Ricky the cat is checking you out. He's considering your motives right now. Anyways, so the other piece of what I've got to do is make sure that the actual bus part of it is running well. We're in pretty good shape. We used to have a lot of problems, but we had the fuel pump replaced a couple of years ago, which basically got all those issues out of the way. But there's still some stuff that we've got to do. So a couple of months ago, before it got real cold, just about every night, I put in some of the diesel conditioner that keeps it from getting gunked up when it gets under freezing, like it did for almost a week straight right after Christmas, remember? So we're good there. I do have to like condition the batteries, got to charge those up. So what I'll do here in about a month or so, once it does start warming up pretty well, is charge up the batteries, give it a good crank, let it run for a while. Probably give it some fresh diesel to run through the system to make sure that everything is running smooth and not gunked up, you know. Something funny that happens every year when we take it out of hibernation is the bus basically announces the new pope because white smoke comes out the back of it, right?
You said a good crank.
A good crank? Yeah, I'll give it a good crank.
I imagine you just going out there and like turning a old timey crank.
That would actually be way easier. No,
Like,
it's not that old.
and it going auga.
That would be awesome, actually, if it went auga.
Why did I think that?
I don't know. That would be pretty cool. I wouldn't be against that.
All right, so it announces the Pope.
Yeah, so what that means is it's running through some old diesel, basically. So when you have it sitting there for a couple months like we have, because, you know, we'll ride it to like some local stuff before Bonnaroo and everything, or we take it around to campgrounds and stuff after Bonnaroo, or over to the Bonnaroo site a time or two. But in the winter, when it hasn't been going anywhere, the diesel can get kind of old, right? So I'm not a mechanic, but this is what I've understood from people that know what they're talking about. So I make sure that I get rid of all that nasty old diesel. And we'll run it around the block here in our neighborhood a couple of times. Inevitably, all the kids in the neighborhood come out and see it, and I give them a ride. We go around and everything. But after that, we're just about ready to go for Bonnaroo. So all of the touch-up paint, making sure that the engine is running well. That's just about it. And of course, we'll get everything organized inside for us living there for a week and having all the stuff for our events and everything. That's a lot of work as well, of course. But we start early. So I think we'll officially start here in about a month after me and Brooklyn get back from Okie and start organizing everything, start washing it, start working on the internal parts. Is there anything I'm missing? I think that covers it.
I think you got it, Dan.
Yeah, so I did want to take one of these small episodes to go through that so everybody kind of understood what we're working on and everything. It's not a lot of work. We just kind of pick at it in the 3 or 4 months leading up to Bonnaroo. It's just like a fun afternoon and weekend project. That's always been the deal for me and you, right?
My favorite part, honestly, is just taking the paint and going out there and just picking on it with the paint.
Picking on it with the paint? Oh, the touch-up
Sounds
paint?
silly, but
Oh,
it's so like satisfying.
It is?
It really is.
Well, thanks, because you can help me with that before too long.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, I know.
What are you talking about?
All right, Sharla, I understand you have a number of weekly picks for us.
I do, yes.
Tell me, because I have none.
I
I do, but I suspect we're going to have the same one.
Okay. So I've been listening to the Bonnaroo playlist a lot, and I have found this band called Sammy Ray and the Friends. So I was not familiar with this band at all until I found them on the playlist. They're playing on Sunday this year, and they're like way, 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 way down toward the bottom on the lineup. Look them up. It is a jazz band. It's like jazz band / classic rock. They're
Really?
based out of like New York / Connecticut. Sammy Ray is the lead singer. It's a female lead singer, but it's like 8 people, and it's like all these random instruments. And I get these. This is gonna be weird. I get Lisa Simpson vibes.
Lisa needs braces.
If Lisa Simpson
Dental plan.
grew up and became a jazz singer.
Okay.
Because remember, like, her love of jazz music. This is just...
So it's Bleeding Gums Murphy.
No,
I
not
know,
at all.
I'm just joking.
No, it's not sad music. It's like upbeat, like more like funk and more like a folk.
Okay, I've
kind
got to
of
listen.
sounding. Every song, like I heard it on the playlist, and then I immediately like switched over and started listening to like all their tracks. Every song is just a banger. Like, it's so
All
good.
right.
So look up Sammy Ray. R is spelled, it's like Sammy, and then the second word Rae. Sammy Ray and The Friends. So look them up.
Good pick. Yeah, I haven't really heard that at all, so I'm going to have to listen.
And the wild thing was, when I looked them up on Spotify, it was like 750,000 monthly listeners. But yeah, I've never heard of them. So yeah, definitely check them out.
Have you noticed how much jazz and such there is on the lineup this year?
Yes,
I'm sure there's a reason for that, because, they have Wolfpack, and as Brad and Barry and Taco have talked about, they tend to have a lot of lanes at Bonnaroo. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that there would be a lot of jazz-inspired stuff because of Wolfpack.
Yes.
But the more I listen to these different playlists, the more I hear of this kind of stuff. And I always think I have something new. I'll send, like, Mitchell a track and be like, hey, man, have you heard of this? And he's like, oh, yeah, this one's great. There's nothing new in the world to Mitchell,
No.
but I love that. Well, I mean, that's one of his deals. He loves some jazz like that. You got any other picks for us?
Well, of course, but I think it's going to be the same pick that you have.
Is it a TV show?
It's a TV show.
Oh, man. I'll
Yeah.
let Sharla go in on this one.
Oh, boy. If y'all ain't on this, y'all need to get on this immediately.
Sharla's
So,
on this.
I have recommended some TV shows to y'all. I'm going to put y'all on one. I'm going to put y'all on this. All right. If y'all are a fan of some old school X-Files, because this is what it puts me in the mind of.
Mystery of the Week.
Mystery of the Week. Mystery of the Week. Y'all need to get on this show, this Natasha Lyonne show, Poker Face.
It is ridiculous.
Poker Face. This might be in my top 10 of all-time TV shows.
Are you for real?
Yes, I am dead serious. I did not want to start the show. I was determined not to watch this show.
Why, though?
I didn't want to start anything new because I did not want to get invested in another TV show.
Well, there's one good thing about this show is it's not really one of these, like, overarching long story TV shows.
Exactly.
Like, there's a bit of a story, but it's mostly like, hey, she comes into another town and helps solve a mystery every week.
Right. Each episode, I mean, the first episode sets up the overall arching story, but you don't even really need to know that. It doesn't matter.
It was very good, though. It was like a mini movie.
It's kind of irrelevant. Each episode is a whole different thing. It's literally a monster of the week, a mystery of the week kind of thing. It's so good.
It is produced and created by Rian Johnson. And if you don't know who that is, he's the guy that did the Knives Out and Glass Onion movies. But also, he did that Star Wars movie that I like, but nobody else tends to like, The Last Jedi. I love The Last Jedi. I love The Last Jedi. Rise of Skywalker, not so much, but we won't talk about that. But I think he is a brilliant writer and director, and he writes and directs the first episode or 2, I think, but then hands it off to other crew. You know how they do. Like, the writer and director will kind of set the tone for the rest of the series, so the rest of the show still kind of has his vibe, And man, is it good. He is so good at setting up these, like, mystery stories. You probably saw that with Knives Out and Glass Onion. If you haven't watched The Glass Onion, you should go check that out. It was kind of better than Knives Out, honestly. But this is kind of like a TV show version with a different vibe. Instead of the Daniel Craig character, what was it? Benoit Blanc? What was his name? Natasha Lyonne plays a character. She's similar to the same kind of people she's played in Russian Doll or Orange is the New Black. I mean, I love her, but she kind of plays herself in all of these shows.
Well, I love her so much.
Yeah,
I mean, I
she's
remember
funny.
seeing her as a kid. Not when I was a teenager in Slums of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
I mean, she is an amazing actor.
Yeah, she's funny. Wouldn't she be funny to hang out with at Roo?
Oh my goodness.
I'm not even going to try to do her voice. Nobody sounds like her. She's so funny. No. But yeah, check out this show. I almost said Russian Doll, but no, it's Poker Face.
Poker Face.
It's ridiculously good. It's on Peacock, and honestly, I'm just going to put it out there. It's ridiculous that it's on Peacock because Peacock is not that great, and this show was way too good for it. This could be like an HBO show, really. Yeah, so I don't really have any picks of the week, so I'm glad that you had two good ones, Sharla, because we've been busy traveling and getting ready for Okie. I haven't even been listening to the Bonnaroo playlist that much because I've been listening to the Oakley playlist and the one that I put together for our trip and everything. If I had any pick at all, I guess it would just be for people to come join us in our Discord. I've been a little MIA recently because I've been busy with work and we've been traveling, but I'm going to jump in there. There's a lot of stuff coming up, and I'm glad that we've got a good group of friends to hang out with.
Yes.
Where can they find that again?
Where can they find what?
The Discord.
Oh, my goodness. Go to any of our social media.
Yeah.
Click on the very top. There is something called therealroobus.com/links.
Yes.
And it'll pop right up.
Yeah, that was just my way of plugging that since you worked hard on that this past week.
Therealroobus.com/links.
Y'all, I'm just going to put it out there. In years past, it has been me doing a lot of the work behind our projects, but Sharla has been the real MVP this year. She has really been enjoying putting in the work on the website and the Bonnaroo subreddit, where Sharla is one of the moderators, and some other things. I'm going to have a lot to do later after I pick up things with Roo and get our events rolling, but Sharla has been killing it recently. Come see her and give her a hug at Roo if you don't see her before, because she has really been kicking ass with all this lately. Yeah. What? Yes, you have. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for bearing with me and Sharla. Our voices are shot. We haven't been feeling 100%, but we wanted to get something out there. I did want to tell you guys we were going to start having some more in-depth episodes here in a couple of weeks. We've kind of been stalling because we were traveling, and then I have Okeechobee coming up. I think Brooklyn is going to help me next week with some Okeechobee preview stuff. We're going to go through the schedule and also kind of talk about some stuff that we have going on. If you're going, we'd love to hang with you at Okeechobee. When we get back, I want to get back more into doing the big panel episodes like we did last year.
Yeah, Brooklyn and I are definitely going to do another female episode.
Yes. I have someone to volunteer or voluntold for you. You need to get Chloe on.
Well,
can you get Chloe on?
Obviously, but I'm already thinking about some new people that.
Okay. Well, I just love Chloe to death, so I just want to get her on. She's funny.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah, you can't not get Chloe on.
We can't not have our queen
Yeah.
on.
I also want to do another Pride-centric episode.
Yes.
We had a great one last year. It was crazy because most of everybody was here in the living room, and then we had Danny from Miami come on as well. Yes. But we're going to figure out a way to do that again this year. And I'd love to do some more themed episodes. In the future, leading up to Bonnaroo, I'm going to get Mitchell to guest host another episode because he's ridiculous and hilarious. I want to get some other groups to do their own episode. So I'm going to talk the guys from Camp Red Roo to guest host an episode. Maybe Kevin, I suppose. Squeak Squad, I suppose. But yeah, that's just all to say. After the lineup, between then and now, we've just kind of been doing these filler episodes. I hope you've enjoyed them, but we're really going to get going with the good stuff after we return from Okeechobee and things really get rolling. We're going to have, a lot of good co-hosts and featured guests and guest hosts. So more to come on that, probably starting the second or third week of March. So bear with us. Thank you so much for listening to me and Sharla as our voices are just about shot. Love you guys to death. Anything else this week, Sharla? No? Okay, y'all. I will see you next week. Brooklyn will be here to help me go through everything Okeechobee. And hopefully we'll see some of you down there in South Florida. I can't wait. It's such a great Wook spring break party. I wish you could be there, Sharla.
So do I.
Yeah, I know. We'll get you down there one of these days. Anything else this week?
No, I think we covered it.
We got it. You know, you say that at the end of every episode. I think we covered it.
I think we covered it.
Yeah. All right.
What if we didn't cover it? And I said that
Well,
anyway.
then we'll cover it next week then.
Y'all watch Poker Face.
Yeah, go watch Poker Face. Hey, everybody. See you next week. You know I say this every week. Get out there and radiate positivity. Please, by all means. See you next time.